Get ready for the dictation. 5 seconds. Start. Mr. Chairman, sir, I thank the honorable members for their observations which they have made. Some of the honorable members have also stated that they could have said but because of the paucity of time they were not provided the opportunity. But those who have also given their speeches in writing, we will take note of it. I am happy to note that the former finance minister has also spoken on length and made relevant points and also highlighted some of the issues and expressed his concern. And it is quite natural for me to say that some of the expenditure proposals which I have brought in the first supplementary demand, keeping in view the nature of their expenditure, could have been anticipated and incorporated in the main budget. There is no denial of the fact that some of these could have been anticipated. But why I have come out with it? Normally, the finance ministers do not come out in the first supplementary demand, which is almost 5% of the total budgetary expenditure and not a substantial part of the GDP in terms of percentage. This time I wanted to make an experiment. He had this experience, and I also had this experience that when we give the money required to the states, one complaint that constantly comes is that much of the working session is lost. That is because we finalize the entirely budgetary exercise by middle of May when the finance bill is passed. That by the time communications and other things are issued, the monsoon session starts. As a result of that, if there is a shortfall or an anticipated shortfall when the additional sums are being given to them by the end of winter session through the second batch of supplementary demand of much of the working session is lost. I want to address this. I would give one instance as we do not have adequate time. I have also given a certain amount of fund for a centrally sponsored scheme. I entirely agree with former finance minister that this could have been anticipated and incorporated in the budget. But apart from that, I am doing it with the idea that if they can use this, how they will get a larger period of working season. I could have brought it down on some other items also, but that would have created problems in respect of the actual effective implementation. This is because much of the working season would have been lost. I am doing this experiment for the first time. If I find that it has worked, I may repeat it. Otherwise, I will go back to the normal practice which he followed and which I followed and will come out with bulk expenditure in the winter session. This is one clarification I thought I should give to the honorable member who initiated the discussion. There is another point which he perhaps might have missed because I do not elaborate it. I never said that it is only because of the growth that there is this inflationary pressure that has as long as there will be growth, inflationary pressure would be there, and that there is no need of containing the inflation. Substantial fiscal expansion took place by stepping up the developmental expenditure or by reducing the excise duty and certain other measures. Therefore, this fiscal expansion had its impact on the inflationary pressure which was coupled with the shortfall of the monsoon. There was an actual shortfall of about 15 million tons of food grains. The adverse impact was delayed a little because in the first quarter in the entire world there was a commodity crisis and energy crisis in terms of rising prices. Therefore, these things added to inflation. This is the cause, and this cause had its effect. That does not mean that the effect will not have to be addressed. Therefore, both these aspects from demand side and supply side are there. So far as supply side is concerned, I have elaborated in detail. That is what we have done. What is likely to be done and what we should try to do more. There I sought the cooperation of all the political parties because he has responded. I am happy that he has responded to my request yesterday about the GST. I entirely agree with you. Without taking the states on board, how can I have the GST? What I appeal to you that the central leadership should have discussions with them, and if I can find a viewpoint of convergence. I have no intention of becoming the super finance minister to interfere with the state GST. They will have their rights as I shall have my rights because I am accountable to you. No tax can be levied without your approval. No expenditure can be made without your approval. Similarly, they have accountability to their states. That basic structure cannot be altered. So, what we can do for the practical purpose, I quote your manifesto not for scoring a point but only to say that I entirely agree with it that it should be desirable if it is around 12 to 14%. It would be desirable if I can completely abolish the central sales tax, but I cannot do it alone. That can be done collectively by all the political parties who are running the state governments who have representation in both the houses of parliament. The short point which I was trying to drive at if we can do right now, because in the beginning of 3-4 weeks, if I can place the constitutional amendment bill for the consideration of this house, then it can be sent to the standing committee. After scrutiny by the standing committee in the winter session, we can discuss, and then it may be possible to have it. I am engaged with the empowered committee of the state finance ministers about the rate of taxes in respect of the convergence of the other areas. I am hopeful for an early resolution. Mr. Chairman, sir, you have rationed the time of every speaker, and as Minister, I do not want to take extra advantage. I have covered some of the salient features and the other important issues which the honorable members have raised in the course of the discussions on various issues. We will have the opportunity of sharing our common perception. I seek their kind cooperation in talking about our objectives further. With these words, I thank you very much. Stop.